Welcome in YouTube is the Boneyard Garage. Today I'm going to show you how to do a basic service on this snowblower, which has a twin cylinder Kawasaki engine, 15 horse on it. Kind of rainy and cold today in New York, so I'm going to do the basic service. First thing you want to do is to start it and get it nice and hot and get that oil warm before we drain it. So let's go do that. Okay, so we got it all nice and hot. I brought it back in, put it up on the lift, and went and got myself a drain pan and also a piece of hose. So the first thing you want to do is go over, take the dipstick out, like so. Set that up here. And you see right there, that's your oil drain. Oil comes out of here when you loosen up this this valve. So what I like to do is I take the piece of hose and I slide it onto the drain, and I kind of angle it so hopefully it will go into the pan and not make too much of a mess. So now we got that set, we're going to go ahead and loosen up the valve. You see the oil coming out. So we're going to let this drain for a while, and while that's doing that, I'm going to try to get the camera set up, and we will go and while on this side and replace the fuel filter and also the spark plug. And then when we're done with that, we'll go over to the other side and change the oil filter, the other plug, check the air filter. So let me get the camera set up and I'll be back. Okay, so the first thing you want to do to change this fuel filter is got a pair of these plastic hose clamps that crimps the hose, and you want to go ahead, if it doesn't have a fuel shutoff, which this one does, it's back here, but if you does, you can shut the fuel off, or you can take a pair of these and just crimp the hose like so. Then you got two clamps on each side of the filter. Just grab them with a pair of pliers and squeeze, pull them forward. So you're going to lose a little gas out of here when you take this fuel filter off. So get another pan. I'm just going to put it here to try to catch the gas. So take the line, doesn't matter which end, hold it and try to give the filter a twist to break the seal. And just gently pull it off and twist at the same time, like so. Kind of let that filter just drain out in that pan. Take the new filter, slide it on. Slide your clamp back up. And do the same with the other side. pretty much it for the fuel filter. Take your clamp off. Turn your fuel back on. And as you can see that the oil pretty much stopped. So I'm going to go ahead and shut the valve and take the hose off. Okay, once we get that all done, I'm going to go ahead and change the spark plug while I'm right here. Boot off. Okay. The plug's pretty dirty. Black. It looked like it was running a little rich. So we'll check the carburetor adjustment also. It's got a Champion RC J8Y. So that's what we're going to put back in it. And a brand new one right here. We want to also check the gap. Let me get my gap done with it. There we go. I like to gap it around between 25 and 30. Here's the gap. They come pretty close out of the box. Yeah, so this is right at 25, so that's what I'm going to leave it at. Come on, get started. There you go. You want to be careful you get it straight. You don't want to cross thread it in that aluminum head, then you have a whole nother issue. The boot back on. Okay, and that's pretty much for this side, other than just take a look at it and make sure everything looks good. Your wires are all tucked away and tied up. Nothing rubbing against the exhaust or anything like that. It looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and set the camera up on the other side. I'm going to change the filter, the other plug, and check the air filter. So, be back. Okay, so we're on the other side, and there's the oil filter right there. Try to put that pan under there to catch what I can. And I already did the spark plug. You see me do it on the other side. No need to show you again. So, get my phone set up. Hopefully you can see that. Okay, what you want to do, pretty much, get your filter wrench and loosen up the filter. Probably going to make a mess. There's really not much you can do on this side. Also take a rag, and I just put a rag up underneath here too. Catch whatever. Just be prepared to make a mess. They got long enough threads on it. Okay. Is the old filter and the new filter. I always like to match it up, make sure it's about the same size. And what I do is take the old one, it's got all that nice oil on that gasket, and I just like to take the new one and twist it on top and get some of that oil up on that gasket also. Wipe off any excess oil that spilt, and then go ahead and thread this back on. I hand tighten it, what I like to do, and then what I do is I just take this wrench and just give it like a, after you hand tighten it, just give it a, you know, about a half a turn, quarter to half a turn. Just snug it back up. And that's pretty much it for changing the oil filter. And do the same on this side and check everything and make sure everything looks good. So what we're going to do now is take the air filter off. Air filter looks pretty good. It's really not that dirty at all. What I'll do is I'll take the air hose and clean it out, and then take the foam and clean it out with soapy water and let it dry and put it all back on. Don't use gas or anything like that or carburetor cleaner, because what happens, it swells the foam up. So I just like to take some Dawn dish soap and some water and just rinse it out and clean it that way, and then just let it dry really good before you put it back on. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then get back and finish it up and show you what else to look for. Okay, so I cleaned the air filter, dried it out, got it back on. I also put oil in it. And what you want to do is you want to fill it up to the full line. I don't know if you can see it, the oil's so clean. But you wipe off your dipstick. Wipe off your dipstick, put it in, screw it all the way down, and take it back off and check it. And it should be on that full mark. Now, I haven't started this yet since I changed the filter and put the oil in. So you're going to want to start the engine, let it run for a while, shut it off, let it sit for, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes, and then go ahead and check your oil again, because it's probably going to be a little low because it's going to fill up the oil filter. And also, I don't know if you can see it, I always like to put the date that on the oil filter, so the customer knows the last time it was serviced. And this was 2/18/2019, February 18th, 2019. So when you're all done with that, you want to check the air in the tires, which I've already done. Tire pressure should be on the side of the tire or in the owner's manual of the machine. And go around and grease any grease fittings that you have. I haven't found any on this machine. They're pretty much all sealed bearings. So But there's a drivetrain right there, which I'm gonna lube, and there's also a drivetrain chain underneath and your belt. So it's kind of dark, I don't know if you can see it. But you want to get up there and inspect your belts, make sure there's no cracks or wear, and check the adjustment to see if they need to be adjusted. And same with your chain. Make sure there's not too much slack in it. And I like to take either WD-40, or you can go and get chain lube and just spray the chain up. Put a nice coating of lubrication on there. And we'll also do that to the front. And this got a gearbox, which I believe is sealed. I'm going to look into it a little more. But I believe that's sealed. Check your batteries. Battery cables. Make sure there's no acid buildup. They're nice and clean, which these are. The battery is good. He just bought that. And then just go ahead and check all your levers, your chokes, safety switches, and just give it a once over. And then when you're all done, I like to take a towel and wipe it off, wipe all the excess oil, fingerprints, clean the dirt off it, because I mean that really makes the job look complete. So I'm going to go ahead and bring it outside and give it a start and let it run and recheck the oil, and that's pretty much it. I mean, you could also get into check the valve adjustments if you want. I didn't see that it was necessary to do that. It was running pretty good. So, okay, that's it, YouTubers. If you like what you see, please hit the thumbs up. Subscribe. Tell your friends about my channel. I'm trying to get it up and going. It is slowly but surely. And I've been watching a lot of videos from Zippo, so I'll put that link in my description box. He's very helpful. Check out his live streams Sunday. I believe they start at 8 o'clock. But check his channel out. A lot of information. Very nice guy. And he can help you out if he can. So, big shout out to Zippo. Alright guys, this is Boneyard Garage. We're out. Have a good night.